Alright guys, welcome to the Physics 1 playlist where we're going to cover chapter 1 from the book of Physics for Scientists and Engineers. So let's get started. Alright, I'm going to be redoing these videos, but alright, let's do number 1. Use the information Use the information on the end papers of this book to calculate the average density of the Earth. Where does the value fit amongst those listed in table 4.1? I'm going to provide my own table here using the AI. Look up the density of a typical surface rock such as granite in another source and compare the density of the Earth to it. Alright, so before we do that, let's define what density is. So density, and the formula I'm going to be using is this. I'm going to try and keep the traditional symbol that you guys are using. The density is going to be the mass over the volume. That's it. That's all we're going to be doing. So let's say we have a sphere of the Earth, and this Earth has a specific radius. And that radius is going to be 6,378 kilometers. We can measure the radius by a bunch of various methods. So in geodetic surveys, there's tremendous amounts of repeatable measurements that people do. In fact, they get paid for it. It's a good gig. In fact, I want to get into that gig. It's a great gig. Anyways, so they do repeated measurements, and you can look at those measurements. You can use various techniques to calculate the radius. One of the techniques is this. One of my simple techniques is this. You have radius here. You can measure up north in latitude. You can get the angle or the change of the angle. I'm just going to call it theta. And that angle, that S, is related to R theta. So if you can get the angles, the difference between the latitudes, meaning Polaris, or approximate, and you know your S value, you can take the S divided by the theta in radians, by the way, not in degrees. Make sure you get them in the right mode. And then you can calculate the radius. So for any flat earthers that say that you don't have a curvature of the radius, they're fucking idiots. You do. Anybody who can verify this. All the information is out there for you guys to learn from. Anyways, so here is the picture of our planet provided from NASA or wherever the source comes from. Now I want to make it clear to you guys, I looked this up on the internet, and I'm going to presume this is a public information, but I'm going to give credit to the sources whenever I pull something like this out. So I don't know anything about the whole legality thing or anything like that, but I don't think it's going to matter really. So here's a picture of our planet. Here's the Earth. This Earth has a specific radius. So we can get the volume, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. Once you have the radius, you have the volume. But what we're going to be focusing on is the mass. Now, you can do either two ways. You can look up the mass. Just go to google.com and look up the mass value, or you can look at the radius, or heck, you can even look up the volume and you can just plug it all together. But let's just say we don't know the mass. How do we get the mass? How do they determine what the mass of the Earth is? Well, there's a thing called the universal square law. And let me read something from the AI here. Alright, so before we give the formula, let's appreciate a bit of history behind this equation. So in the early 1600s, Galileo showed that objects fall towards the Earth with a predictable acceleration, helping establish the steady of motion. Around the same time, Johannes Kepler used careful astronomical observations to discover mathematical laws describing how planets move around the sun. Then in 1687, Isaac Newton connected these ideas with his laws of universal gravitation. Newton realized that the same universal gravitation. Newton realized that the same forces causing an apple to fall is also responsible for keeping the moon in orbit and governing the motion of the planets. Much later, Henry Cavendish, oh, that looks familiar, measured the gravitational constant G, allowing scientists to determine the Earth's mass from measurements of gravity at its surface. Today, we are following the same chain of reasoning. All right. So that's just a bit of history there. All right. So I hope you guys can appreciate a bit of history there. So basically, F is going to be G, the mass of the two objects, over the r squared. I know this is not related to this problem, and I'm making it harder than it actually is, but you know, this is just so we can get a bit of history and much understanding as much as possible. So this is going to be the universal law of gravity. So let's use this formula, but let's kind of adjust. So if you know Newton's laws of motion, which we haven't covered that yet, let's just say that the G, and G is a measured value, is at 9.8 meters per second square, is going to be some gravitational constant, and that gravitational constant, I wrote it down here. I don't have this memorized, I just write everything down. It's going to be 6.67. So this is 430 times 10 to the negative 11 newtons times meter square over the kilogram square. You don't have to know all this, but you know, but we are just like actually considering the mass here. So we're going to say this is going to be the mass of the Earth divided by the radius square. We know the radius, we know the gravity, we know the constant G. So let's rearrange this equation, and let's just say that the mass of the Earth is gravity, the gravitational constant, over the radius square. So once you plug all these values in there, you can estimate that the mass of the Earth is approximately, what do I have it here as? 5.9. These are the values I looked up. I didn't actually calculate this, but you can use whatever values. You might get a slightly different answer depending on your significant digits, but we're not going to worry too much about that. We're not going to pay too much attention to that at this level. 24 kilograms. So that's how they get the mass of the Earth. They use the universal law of gravity constant to calculate it. So there it is. So we can measure the radius through various methods. We can we can get the mass of the Earth through that universal law of gravitational constant, and from there all we need is the volume. So the volume of the sphere is, so the volume of the sphere can be generalized through the rules of calculus. And that's, so you use a bit of calculus and you can say that this is going to be 4/3 pi radius cubic. So let's get the volume. So the volume here is going to be 4/3 pi. The radius is 6378 kilometers. Apparently I have that memorized now. 6378 kilometers. So that's 10 to the third power meters square. Once you put all this in the calculator, the volume of this, I meant to put a third there. So once you put this in the calculator, the value you should get 1.086 78. I'm going to put it all the way. 1293 3 times 10 to the 21st. I converted that to meters, so that's going to be meter cubic. So there we go, folks. That's all we need. That's all the information wherever. So the density is going to be the mass over the volume, which is 5.9723 times 10 to the 24 kilograms, divided by 1.08678123 times 10 to the 21st meter cubic. Once you put this in the calculator, approximately 5495 0.40, I'm just going to round here, kilograms per meter cubic. There's the density, folks. That's all we need. Now, we can convert this into centimeters, but let's pull the table here. So here's the table of the average densities. Now, all I did is pull this from the AI, folks. So these are kind of like the approximate values. And now this is going to be grams per centimeter cubic. It also did give me kilograms per meter cube, but I'm going to take this opportunity to convert this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 10 to the 3 power, because I know this by memory. I'm not going to write. I'm just going to convert it the way I know. So this would be 5.4. I'm not going to round up. I'm just going to keep it as 496 or whatever. I'm just going to keep it as 9. And that would be grams per centimeter cubic. So if you were to take this value, multiply by 3, that would be that would be grams, but meter cubics you would have to divide by 10 to the 6 power times 10 to the 6. So that would be centimeter cubic. So that means that you're basically taking this value divided by 10 to the 6. So that's basically 10 to the 3rd power. Anyway, whatever. However you guys want to convert. So now the question is asking us to compare the mass of the Earth to these values. So this is grams per centimeter cubic, approximately water. Ice. Ice is a little dense, not by much actually. I thought it would be a little more. But granite, here's the granite, 2.6, 2.7. So let's just say about twice as amount as the granite. And the basalt, limestone, sandstone, marble, quartz, iron, steel, nickel, copper, aluminum, lead, and gold. So here are the average densities to compare. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Help this channel grow. I'm going to be trying to do more of these kinds of videos. I'm going to try and put more quality into these videos now. So I've already done all the problems from chapter 1, 2, 3 up to even 7. Well, I'm doing 7 at the moment, but I'm going to be redoing a lot of these videos as well. So if you guys are taking any of these classes that is using this book, let me know. And anyways, I'll take any suggestions. Leave any comments and suggestions in the comments below, and help this channel grow. And I'll see you guys later. All right. I hope you guys enjoy.